This is the IT in the D, only on rawradiox.com.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of your women.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House? Sure. Come on in.
I was banging on the wang. This is the ladies' man. So you have no boots.
No.
You have no gloves.
No.
You have no hat.
No.
You have no scarf.
No.
You have no scraper.
No.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so I'm...
Well, especially with the back doors open.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
How much scotch did you drink that night, by the way?
Half the bottle.
Okay, then shut the hell up.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
You're in your underwear. I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey, I have a headache. Bear me. I may have to wipe the goose off.
You're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining? Why would, like, Buick put their cars next to, like, the Bentleys? Like, why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
They're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
Shut up. Stop talking.
How are we not sponsored by PBR and Slim Jim yet? Damn it.
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
I love this city.
I don't know who brought that bell in, but Bob's got a new toy.
I guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Are we at a break yet?
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Shall we play a game?
Ludicrous speed! Go!
And once again, we are live here in the Raw Radio X studios down in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is the IT in the D show presented to you by DetroitNet.org. This is always Mr. Monday Night himself, Bob the sales guy.
Mr.
He's
Monday
sitting
Night.
here with Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. This is episode Dirty 30.
Dirty 30. I love it.
And it's a go.
Working our way to the longest intro ever.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing we got. We met with Jeremiah from Hellia, and he's like, a little bit of advice: cut back on the intro just for about 10 minutes or so. Like, no.
So in honor of that, we're just going to add on 3 minutes.
Right. We're going to make it longer. That's what we do.
You know, you guys really shouldn't. Be so goofy. You know what? We're going to be double goofy now, just to appease you.
Oh, you're not happy that we're using our name? We're going to use it more.
Yeah. So it's amazing. Last week, I was gone. I was in North Carolina, figuring, hey, I'm almost at Florida. It's going to be nice out, and we had
wrong. Wait. This followed you back, didn't it?
It did. It did. It went to the Northeast first because my colleague that from Jersey left before me,
right,
and then it followed me. So literally, I'm laughing because the schools are closed, offices closed. I'm like, there's grass on the ground right now. You can't even.
And it's like, what is it, like 40 degrees?
It was like 35, 40 degrees. There was just grass. And then, like, all of a sudden, when it snowed, it effing snowed. And they're not equipped for it. They don't have.
Well, I mean, what'd they get? Just a few inches? Or
no, there was probably 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then it froze.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. Yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah, like the scene of the Christmas Story when he opens the windows and all the trees are frozen.
Right.
That was it.
That was it.
And nothing was going on. You couldn't get a cab.
Right. Get the milk. Get the bread. Get the milk.
Yeah, we were locked in our hotel. The manager had to
by the National Guard or
pretty much because there was nowhere to go. There's nothing to do.
Well, yeah, you said your flight was canceled, right?
My flight was canceled.
You were thinking about getting a rental car. For
and then the worst thing that happened is the Carolina Ale House that we went to the night before. Great beer bar. And so I text the bartender, and I will, what? He goes, yeah,
only you would go on a business trip and immediately get the cell phone number of the closest bar.
I did.
Well, no, keep in mind, normal people are looking for the milk, the bread. Bob is texting the local beer garden.
She's like, they closed the bar. You can't come tonight. I'm like, what am I going to do? So we're cropped up eating hotel food and like the same dozen people for all week. And I finally got home like at midnight on Friday.
So how's that any different than like tonight? Like you're eating Slim Jims from a hotel as opposed to Slim Jims at the Russell?
There's nothing different. I was like, oh, it's so glamorous being traveling. I go, airport, rental car, office building, hotel. I'm like,
right.
So
yeah, worst day ever.
Jumping into things, last week we all went. One of my favorite things to do in Detroit is going to the Dirty Show, right?
Right.
And it's one of the few times that I get a cab in this town because parking's awful, right? Like it was at Burt's this year. It's in the Russell where we are right now,
right?
And so we took a cab here because we crashed at the Marriott. It's like our first night out, since the baby was born,
right?
And
got to do it right.
So I'm like, you know what? We're walking around. And I go, I'm going to call a cab. I go, God, remember last time me and Bo sat at Burt's Jazz Club
for like an hour
and a half singing "Stand By Me" with the house band. I put Uber on my phone. I never used them before,
right?
And he texted me in 6 minutes. Mm-hmm. Black town car, takes me to the hotel. I get a receipt.
An e-receipt, right? It was on your phone.
I got an e-receipt.
Yeah.
Here's the way we drove. Here's the distance traveled. Here's the average speed. Here's your receipt. And I go, this is the greatest service known to man.
This is why.
And then we read all these stories that are intriguing, to say the least.
Yeah, all the stories are breaking about how Uber is in all sorts of regulatory issues. I'm going to let you guys take this for a sec. This is probably Hajj.
No, that's right. I mean, Uber is running into the same exact problem that they run into in every city that they are getting a foothold in. Right? Well, I mean, they went through the same exact problem in Chicago and they beat it. Same problem in San Fran, and they beat it.
They're trying to say that they are like Orbit, right?
Right.
Or they're like Expedia.
They're like a connector. They're not a cab service.
The problem is my receipt says, thank you for using Uber. Here is your receipt from Uber. Here's with the Uber logo.
Right.
So in essence,
and nowhere on it does it say transportation. Nowhere on it does it say cab.
Actually, on the e-receipt, it said from Jake, an affiliate of something limousines.
So is it? Oh, okay. So it was a guy like doing business as.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what Uber does, I don't know if you ever you can sign up to be a.
I got the app on my phone, but I've never actually used it. Like you were saying, it was the first time you used it. Like,
yeah, but I know all about it. If I want to be a Uber driver, I can fill out a form and basically apply to be part of,
But you would be using your vehicle.
I'd be using my vehicle, my insurance, my company.
So how does that work with liability? So that's the whole thing that they're running into regulatory.
That's where it gets interesting,
right?
Dave looked at the legal today, and basically they absolve themselves from anything. So that thing crashes.
So if an Uber driver flips a car with you in the back seat,
you're using his insurance, not Uber. It's like we call it the shit without the stink. Uber's the classic example where they got their hands in it. They basically built this huge affiliate franchise network.
Right.
They're getting a cut, and they have no liability whatsoever.
But you know what? It's going like gangbusters, right? Is it because people don't care and they love the instant service? Like, I mean, you're impressed. Like, you got a text message within a few minutes. The guy showed up, reliable. You got the
cab service in this town.
Service, right? I mean, unless you're in New York City, Manhattan, right?
No, here's the thing.
There's not a cab on every corner like there is in any major city. Especially, I mean, Detroit. This is like a perfect case for a company like Uber.
Because you get a cab, the only place you get it is from the hotels where you're staying at. So if I'm stuck at Burt's or Russell at midnight,
there's not. It's not like a bus service where there's like a normal cab service. Like if there's nobody in there with the light off, they're like roaming the city looking for a fare.
But the problem
that's not what Uber is. Because I kind of equate it like what's the other one? What's the airport shuttle service with the town cars? The black cars.
Same thing. Yeah.
That type of thing.
Metrocar,
thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of equate it to them, where it's more of a quasi-limousine type service than a cab company.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That's more accessible, I guess, to people that,
That guy was there in 6 minutes, Jeff.
Where was he was he?
I don't know. I told him, I go, where the hell are you sitting to be here? So I got a text message.
Because you're coming to Russell. It's not like people hang out at the Russell.
Yeah, and I go, the guy, it's a Jake's here. And I go, Jake, my driver, Jake. Like I got text.
It's like, wait, who do I know on Facebook named Jake?
Yeah, the service was absolutely stinking impeccable. And going from every cab I've ever.
So this was his car.
It was his limo.
Okay.
So it's a black town car.
Okay. So, but like that he uses for his other business.
Yeah.
Or the other business.
Yeah, that's what I found out when I got the receipt. But like I said, last year when we were stuck at Burt's,
right?
The cabbie shows up. He charges you whatever.
Yep.
He tests to see how drunk you are, and he's like, "Oh,
did he really?
No, not this time. But like every cab I've ever taken in this town, they make up the price. They don't turn on like in Vegas and in New York. It's regulated.
Yeah, they try to take an extra detour to get the
Right. Vegas is known, but they don't even turn the meters on in this town. So here comes this great service, Uber. I'm floored by how good the service was, and then here comes that they're not doing things right, and it's just a big stinky mess. And I don't know whether to love them or to hate them even more now.
Well, I think they're innovative, right? I mean, they found,
but they don't comply with any of the. They basically stuck them. They're like us. They found out something sucks. They did it better, and they stuck a middle finger up to everybody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hesitate to use the word loophole, but that's what it sounds like they found is a way to utilize people's equipment that people already have and skill sets that people already have. Like,
Isn't that what Bitcoin is? You're using the computer. You're using the processing power when it's downtime.
Yeah, exactly. It's like SETI. You're using your computer's power.
So these limo companies, when they're on downtime.
They got people sitting around doing nothing and might as well cart people around and get money and get a little cut out of it.
But they don't have to comply with any of the taxi or limo laws. That's where the big comes in. Where
so you got to wonder, like, how do they navigate those legal waters? So, all right, so like if you wanted to sign, like you said, you could sign up and use your vehicle. Your VW.
I think I have to have a C. I think I have to have a limo, like
what your driver's
chauffeur license,
some sort of chauffeur license, because there's a desknation on your.
Yeah, I can't
license.
pick them up in my VW. And, you know what I mean? I don't think that works.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was reading that same article, and they said that it's not always going to be a town car. It's not always going to be a Tahoe.
Dave
right?
equates it to. He doesn't know if it's a pimp or not. Where it's like basically where
whatever happens between
consenting adults. I'm just the middleman.
What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, we got a rock star guest just showed up. We thought there's no way you were going to make it because of the weather.
That's right. Yeah, the over-under was like 9:45.
we have a guest.
You're a busy man today.
We do have a guest for the rest of the show. We got Hajj Flemings here. From Brand Camp, Detroit Week. You got your hands in everything, man. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Right now, we're
get settled.
Yeah, get yourself covered.
We're still hashing out. We're still hashing out Uber.
Uber. If you read their disclaimers, they're kind of like a pimp.
But
right,
it's I'm just the middleman. I just perform a connection.
Well,
whatever two consenting adults do after I get my fee, not really my problem.
Right. I mean, we were just talking about navigating those legal waters. I want to talk to that attorney that wrote that up and have him be my attorney.
Well, when I got Dave, you missed it.
Greg, what the hell's wrong with you? Get on that.
when I got the receipt from Uber, it said Jake from blah 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 limo. So he assumes a liability. Uber's just acting as the quote unquote middleman.
Right.
There's no Uber. Uber exists in your mind. There is no Uber.
This is not the cab company you're looking for.
It's not really there. And when they say they're a technology company, I think they're kind of right.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's why they're taking off, is because that instant gratification on your phone. You're getting, you got the text message, you got that e-receipt.
They did what the cab
fills the need.
Absolutely.
They did what the cab should have done a long time ago.
Yes,
the cabs are.
That's what they were saying.
It's like every industry. If you hold on to your laurels and your antiquated beliefs and your structure long enough, music industry, TV industry, cable, we see it all the time. You hang on to that long enough, you're going to get knocked out by somebody's progressive.
Yep.
Okay, but there's a difference between progressive. Okay, but the big issue with Uber, it's not the service that they're providing. It's are they adhering to and being bound by the same laws, rules, regulations, insurance requirements, and everything else that a cab company
isn't the limo company that picked me up?
Okay, but how?
Don't know.
But guys, how is it any different than what's that company in Royal Oak that does the designated driver? Like you can call them up.
Oh, it was the designated for the longest time.
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay,
well, but there is a new one. Safe ride or whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I mean, that's kind of Uber on a very micro scale, right? It's the same type of thing. And I would equate it to calling your buddy saying, "Hey, can you pick me up drive me here. My car's stuck.
The difference with that though is that you're essentially hiring a driver for that transaction because they're driving in your vehicle to get you home in your car.
So that's what he was just saying. Like Bob couldn't, register as a driver and use his personal car.
With UberX, yes, he can.
Oh, Uber! I don't know what UberX is.
So that's the differentiation. So there's 2 layers of service that they have, and if you look at
my only choice is request black car.
Right. So, but if you look at
which is like a town car,
but that was the app on your phone, right?
Yeah. So if you look at their site, there's there's Uber and UberX, and basically Uber is the black town car, the black Navigator, whatever it is that shows up.
Right.
UberX is basically farmed out to whoever says, yeah, I want to be a driver for people.
Okay.
And away you go. That's where the questions of liability come in.
So that article was focusing on the liability of UberX, not necessarily Uber?
Right. Well, but Uber is UberX. UberX is just, I mean, it's
well, but... I mean, I know we're
all blueberries are blueberries, but not all blueberries are blueberries, right?
So stupid.
What were we talking about?
Right. No, so it's, UberX is just, so if you look at it, so the way that I read it and the way that I understand it is that Uber goes through and they hire drivers.
No, I
that's
understand
the
I don't
black
think they
cars.
hire drivers. I think you sign up to be an affiliate or a franchise.
Maybe, but then there's the UberX thing, which is basically the way I read it was like anybody with a car.
But I thought that the whole battle that Uber was fighting in other major cities like Chicago before they came to Detroit and had a presence, like a foothold in Detroit, this is long before UberX came, because UberX is relatively new, is it not?
No.
Has it been around as long as... Okay, so they've had that same service. So this regulatory thing has to be regarding specifically to the X part of it.
I would assume so, because, to your point, you would assume that anybody that's running a limo company has already gone through all the regulations. They've got their chauffeurs.
That's what I mean. Like,
it's no different than any business. You got Ye Old Butcher Shop. You got Whole Foods comes in. Bye Ye Old Butcher Shop. Somebody comes in, builds a better mousetrap.
Right.
And you talk about the regulatory thing. If they were the limo company and they have their chauffeur's license, I can't see how they don't comply. They have insurance.
But again, that's under the Uber model. It depends on whether or not.
And is it a taxi? I don't. Right?
Well,
could it be a limo?
But so the point of contention from the article that they were talking about was that you could sign up with your Volkswagen to be an UberX driver.
I don't want to do that.
What don't you thank God?
Can you wear the Captain Stooping hat?
Hey, that's a good idea when I'm at Duffy's.
With the Cadillac?
No, I'm at Duffy's at midnight.
Yeah, can you register your Cadillac?
That would be good.
You charge a premium for that.
I made a mistake as I put my... They wanted to, like, when we were in North Carolina, it was basically my first time meeting my whole team.
Okay.
So they wanted to do a little, meet the person.
No wonder you went to the beer garden.
Yeah, absolutely. But, like, I showed them the Cadillac, and they're like, when I come to Detroit, we're going on sales calls in the Cadillac. I'm like, fine. I'll be sweaty.
Yeah, wait, let me twist your arm.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be in a black suit, sweat from head to toe. Whatever. So what else is going on? We're back home now, finally. Life is good.
Yeah, so Uber was the biggie. I think one of the fun ones.
What's the conclusion to Uber? Is that the conclusion?
No, it's going to have to play out in the courts. There's lawsuits all over the place.
Is there specific to Detroit, or is it still
Chicago,
nationwide?
San Francisco? Oh yeah, no. When I say all over the place, I mean all over the place.
Right, Detroit needs it though. The cab system sucks.
Yeah.
True, and again, it's the point where there's no. I don't think there's anyone taking issue with the service that they're providing.
Like, you remember when we went Ford Field? I remember the guy charged like 3 times as much getting there as coming back. We're like, I'm not paying.
There? Yeah.
We're like, I'm not paying. Shut the door when we walked. We're like, that's a problem with Detroit cabs.
Yeah.
They go on the. Hopefully, he's drunk enough and he doesn't care.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10,
he drove you through. He drove you through Toledo just to get here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's not a question about the service that they're providing. It's the
liability
are they playing
issue.
unfairly? You hear the same conversation with a lot of the companies that are opening up in downtown Detroit. We talked about PJ's Lager House. The whole issue that he has is you've got him who's been there forever, and then you've got everybody else that's coming down now because it's easy and cool,
right.
And now they've got all their tax. They've got all their tax incentives and everything else to come in that he doesn't get a bite off of,
right?
Because he's been here the entire time.
He blazed the trail.
It's no different than when you go to Comcast and you get all the specials for a new customer. I've been a customer for 10 years. I don't get jack quat from those clowns.
Exactly. Why is that new customer getting 15% off?
Exactly. I've been a loyal customer for 10 years. You don't give me crap.
Yep.
You're not calling and yelling loud enough.
I'm sick of it. I just did it. I just did it with AT&T.
That shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't have to call up every month to say, hey, give me my discount.
45 minutes I had to call just to get my bill down to a normal.
Well, and Comcast is
just
a good
pull a
segue.
200, right?
Well, but it's back when I had Bright House, living at the old house in Farmington Hills.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing they ever did is so I rarely even looked at the bill because it was all on auto pay and I never paid attention. So, but I opened it up one time.
Yep. What are these line items? Why are the line items 2 pages long?
Well, no. So I'm ripping open the mail and I opened that and I see, and like coupons fall out of it.
Coupons.
And they're like $10 off. And so like now I'm irritated.
Yeah, you're
so
pissed,
I call and I'm like, the girl answers the phone and she's like, hi, Bright House, networks. And I'm like, okay, look, I know before I even start the rant that I'm about to go off on,
it's not your fault.
This was not your decision. This was not your fault.
Yeah.
I just want validation that you agree with me as to how dumb this is.
You're the crumple zone.
And she was like, okay, go. And I was like,
this call's being recorded.
Yeah, I'm like, I want you to pull up my account. And she does. She's like, okay, Mr. Phillips, yeah, I've got you here. And I'm like, okay. Does it tell you how I pay my bill? And she says, yeah, I see that you're set up on autopay. And I'm like, okay. Now, if I'm set up on autopay, I want you to tell me how logical it is that you just sent me coupons in the mail that I'm supposed to mail back to you with my payment if I'm on autopay. And like dead silence. And she's like, I'm sure that's just something they put in everyone's. I'm like, she's like, well, and it's something, just because you're a valued customer. And I'm like, if I'm a valued customer, knock the $10 off my bill. Don't send me a coupon.
Save a tree.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point?
Do you remember Big Net?
Yep.
You know why I never trust monthly bills? Because why Big Net doesn't exist anymore?
Fleming.
He got in trouble for putting on a $10 DSL tax.
What?
On all the bills. So like a $40 bill became a $50 bill, and people question, it's like, it's the new tax that's regulated from government. Well, in the meantime...
Isn't that the cell phone usage SI?
There was no tax.
Yeah, in the meantime, he had
usage tax.
Dwayne needed a new boat, so he put $10 on everybody's bill.
Nice.
He got like $3-4 million because he had like 400,000 subscribers at the time.
What?
Yeah. It was so that ever since then I'm like
you look at it.
I don't look at it. I'm the idiot that just pays the bill. But if it gets stupid, then I'm like, I'm calling.
I want to pay attention. So Comcast is
great
a good segue. Talking
right.
about the whole Comcast buying Time Warner thing.
I'm going to cut the cord.
Well, the new conspiracy theory and what everybody's talking about now is that so Comcast isn't buying Time Warner necessarily because they care about buying Time Warner.
Nope.
But they're buying Time Warner to get the monopoly on the broadband access as basically their counterplot to everyone who's cutting the cord and going to Netflix and Hulu and all of the online streaming services.
They have a goal to be the most hated company in the history of humanity.
I think they're already there.
I think they're more hated than the Koch brothers, which is saying
So, they want to basically corner the market on broadband access because, even if you want to ditch your cable TV,
then they'll charge you $60.
You still need the broadband.
Yeah, talk about a bill that will, incrementally go up every month.
I remember when I first got AT&T, my bill was like $160. And I had the phone too, and I said, "We don't need a house phone. Nobody ever calls."
This isn't 1970,
right? Exactly. What year is this anyway?
Right.
So I cut it, and then 2 months later, the bill's higher.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like, I just canceled the service,
because it's cheaper with the triple bundle.
Well, it's funny. So then I called. When I called to get the bill down this time, he was like, "Well, if you just knock your speed down," I'm like, "No, you don't understand.
Why don't I cut off a leg
to get my bill back to normal?" Sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
To get my bill back to normal, I have to cut back so much service. It's like going to the grocery store and saying, "Well, you don't get meat this week because the bill's the same." It's like, I want my meat. You're going to isolate that too, aren't you? Kiss my ass, kiss his ass. But what I'm saying is, it's such a stupid, dumb business model where you have to kill all your services just to get back to the price model that you originally agreed to.
And the cable companies are going to be the next segment to fall, like you were saying, they're resting on their laurels. They have no idea what's going to hit them.
Well, and we've had this conversation a million times where, the original model was pay for cable and you don't get commercials.
No commercials, yeah.
Surprise, more commercials than ever.
Kind of related. When is that going to hit XM Sirius?
Right. Well, and
don't talk to me about that. I'm still mad I didn't buy stock at a nickel. I'm angry every day of my life. I like an
Is that why you're sitting here with us?
No, do the math sometime.
Ford. I remember having that conversation.
I just got a big bonus check, and I go, God, I'm going to put 10 on Ford, 10 on.
Yep. You could have bought
Sirius.
Ford cheap.
No, $10. I could have got 4 to 10.
Yeah.
Sirius at a nickel.
No, wasn't it like 3?
No,
it was
Ford,
when they were
Ford,
way, way
Ford,
down.
Ford, no, Ford was $1.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was gonna say, you could have bought
Ford
Ford
was
cheap.
no. The dead day Ford was $1. Sirius was a nickel, and I called Tad because Tad, works at Ford. I go, what are the guys saying on the floor? He goes, dude, it might go private. What about Sirius? Dude, they're not going to make. They got $1 billion balloon payment, dude, to keep a satellite in the air.
Right.
I'm like, all right, and I didn't pull the trigger.
Well, this is before the merger with XM,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
So now you beat up Tad on a daily basis?
No,
It's his fault. Yeah, just blame Tad.
No, I finished my basement instead of making $500,000 FML.
That seems worthwhile. All right, well, hey, we're actually bouncing up against a break.
What?
We are.
No.
So we will get ourselves together and come back with Hajj Flemings.
Yeah, this is the IT and the D show.
We'll be right back.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Finding inspiration.
This is the IT in the D, only on rawradiox.com.
And we are back live at the IT and the D show here in the Raw Radio X studios here in beautiful Midtown Detroit,
So,
Michigan.
First break, you don't hate me for the music yet?
No.
No, that was good stuff.
Just checking.
Dave does 80s, me like. Dave does, I think we're
Walk
alone
Like
now.
an Egyptian was the 80s.
No, you do. I think we're alone now. I
Tiffany,
hate you.
80s.
No, it's not happening.
Has there been a song that wasn't 80s?
No.
Yeah.
So this is episode Dirty 30. We actually we got a surprise guest. We thought you weren't going to show up because that weather was awful, and we knew you were coming.
Still is. It's still coming down out there.
We got Hajj Flemings in the house. This is like you're like a rock star, man. This is like having
I just tell people I know you guys, right? And, so I said I have to come down here. I don't care how much snow is falling or whatever.
Yeah, it did come out of nowhere too, which was crazy. It went from like it's a little
nothing?
cold to high snow.
Right.
Followed me from North Carolina, right?
I know you brought the warm weather when you came.
Yeah. So your big thing going on right now this week is you came from Detroit week.
Yes.
Now talk. What in the heck?
Well, I guess just as an intro, so Hajj, you've done, you've been on CNN, doing the is it
Black in America 4? Yep.
There was.
Have you been in Let It Rip?
I have not. What is that?
That's
on
at Fox 2.
That's our goal, is to get on that. At
Oh yeah, we're dying to.
Well, let me see if I can beat you there. We have a contest.
Brand Camp, talking all about personal branding and why that matters, and now and you're heavily engaged in essentially everything going in and around Detroit. So now it's Detroit week. So you came here from that. What's the premise? What's the scoop? What's going on?
So basically, there are a lot of really cool and interesting things that are going on in the city of Detroit. But what we wanted to do is that this is still part of National Entrepreneurship Week, and what we wanted to do was, can we highlight voices that don't get seen that much? Can we be part of the glue, right? Because really what we find is that a lot of people are playing in their own sandbox, right?
Absolutely,
right. And so
they're getting funding from somebody, and they get voiced. Yeah, exactly.
So we said, okay, what could happen if it doesn't matter who gets the credit? And if we can say, okay, all right, so now IT&D is doing this, D-Hive is doing Open City at Cliff Bales, and if you have Google who's doing a demo day at Grand Circus, and then you have Girl Develop It who's doing some workshops, and then we can just showcase and become really what we want Detroit Week to be, is a platform just to be able to show all the cool stuff that's going on.
So you're actually doing something other than just getting a hashtag to trend. How novel! How novel!
But we can
it actually means something.
Yes, and so, you know what I'm saying, if we help people be able to connect on ideas, do some really cool stuff, then again, it's been a good week, and it's been a good start for us. And again, we wanted to be able to say, okay, could we let's just see what happens this year, right? And then look for ways to be able to grow it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, how was the first day? So, a good turnout tonight? Like, what kind of folks were there, and what kind of folks should be, I threw the link out for the schedule of events and all that kind of stuff this morning. So, what kind of folks should be looking at, I missed today. What should I be looking for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Okay. So we have a whole slew of different things that are going on. So we have events. Most of the events we scheduled this year just to be in the evening because we figured a lot of entrepreneurs were working during the day.
Yeah, people have jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
They have to pay mortgages and car notes.
Minor details.
Feed kids. Yeah, details.
So we decided to have most of the events in the evening.
Sure.
So there's some events that'll be going on every single day. There's an event tomorrow night that's going to be at Great Lakes Coffee. It's just tacos and tequila. And so basically,
Nice. I like tequila.
I like tacos and tequila.
Yeah. Taco Tuesday.
So people can just unwind there. There's going to be a build class at D Hive on Wednesday. We have the Google demo event, and so I think there's over 200 people that's scheduled for that.
Wow!
And then the really cool event is that we wanted to see
Let me
how
guess.
many people.
No, it was your event.
Well, anything I'm at is cool, right?
Right.
But we're going to be doing the Detroit's largest selfie. So we're excited. The backdrop is a DIA. So when you think of creativity, think of artwork.
Right. So you said you were looking to get at least like 500 people basically on the steps of the DIA. So
isn't that redundant though? Like if they're doing a selfie, isn't it just them?
It's a meta selfie. Yes, that's what I was going to ask. So is there someone like on a rooftop across the street that's taking a photo?
Kind of like what TEDx does, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but see what we've done. We're doing.
Would there be a drone?
That would be a good idea. Good idea.
You got Google hooked in tomorrow. Get the drone.
We should better get there done. But we're going to do a real selfie. So that means that every person that comes is required to have some kind of smart device, whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, and they're literally taking a picture of themselves. And then we're going to have our photographer on a ladder taking a picture of everybody taking a picture of themselves. So this is real.
So it is a meta.
It is a meta selfie.
It is a meta selfie.
Isn't this every morning at Great Lakes Coffee anyway? Sorry.
But you can do it with a few hundred of your closest friends, right?
Oh, yeah, it's 30 there. You can do 10 times that.
See? Just take it to a whole nother level, right?
Right.
Put Detroit and the DIA on the map.
So now, and I noticed what you were doing with, the entrepreneurs. Like, this is what I do. Those photos that you were getting people to send in over Twitter and that kind of stuff. Is there a particular message to go along with this, or is this just a, hey, we're in Detroit, this is who we are kind of thing?
What we wanted to do with that is just getting people to just talk about their passion, right? So again, we just want people just to take a picture and just to let folks know, what do you do? So we had people talk about doing digital strategy. So we had one by Dave Lindenberry, which was really, really cool. So he had an iPad with a big sheet of yellow paper and he wrote on it, I do digital strategy, right?
No, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to be able to see creativity.
I was going to send one, but I did not want to subject everyone that's looking at my ugly mug. So I'm like, there's no way.
Somebody left.
That would have been in the show notes.
No.
On behalf of Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly. Everyone I see from high school, like, what happened, Bob?
You've changed.
Yeah, so it's, you wanted to get at least 500 or so people out there on the steps of the DIA, and it's Wednesday morning, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes.
Now, so are you, like you said, a lot of the stuff's going on at night. Are you worried that the timing is bad for folks showing? I mean, it's 10 in the morning. It's, hey, boss, I'm going to bail out of my job at Quicken and run over to the DIA quick to snap a photo.
Well, I figured I would just call you, and then you would bring
and we could make it happen?
Yeah. You could make it rain, snow, sleet, all kind of other stuff, and people would just
because we have a lot of inroads at Quicken.
Right. See, our thing is we would have to say, hey, we're throwing an event on the steps of the DIA, and there'll be free beer. Then 500 people would show up.
Well, 5,000 people show up.
No, we have free beer at St. Andrews, and we don't get it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, so I mean, it sounds like it's a cool thing. I mean, it's all about there is, and well, to your point, I mean, there are a lot of silos going on. There are a lot of different initiatives that basically boil down to, hey, world, Detroit doesn't suck as much as you think it does.
Yes. I mean, and our new mayor said it. When he talked with when he talked with the president the other day, he was like, he said, Detroit is open for business, right?
Right.
And so again, some people might not believe that. But you know what I'm saying. But I truly believe that we are, and again, there are a lot of great stories and cool things that are happening right here in the city of Detroit. But I think sometimes it's the same stories that we hear over and over.
Well, the problem was
over again.
Right.
You got the whole Gilbert DVP. When you put that much money into it and you build up that much stuff, yeah, that's going to be the story. So it's always nice to hear someone else that's doing something too, right?
Yeah. And I love what Dan Gilbert is doing.
So all of us do.
Yeah, right.
We're all fans. I mean, but again, he gets all the credit. That's when we were talking about the Anthony Bourdain show. And he said, "Yeah, Gilbert wasn't on the show," and he's like, "You know what? Good. He's on everything else. Let me see something else for once."
Yeah.
Yeah,
we don't need yet another remodel, yet another skyscraper.
And it's not a bad thing because he's doing more than anyone's ever done since I've been in this town.
Yeah, I mean, I love what they're doing. I love the change. I love what they're doing with the buildings downtown. I love that, I can see the startup ecosystem that's really, really developing. And I think what it's doing is that it's spawning creativity in other people, right? So now you're starting to see other co-working spaces, and you're starting to see other people say, you know what, I might not have maybe his money, but I can at least try, and I can aspire to do something similar.
So talk to me about that. Talk to me about that. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, you're starting to see people getting impatient. Like now they're saying that I want to see that change. I don't want to wait for it, because things are growing so organically, but people don't want to wait for that slow change that's a good change. Now they're just going out there and doing it themselves because they don't want to wait.
Yeah. It's always kind of like, people want hype, but they don't want to grow, right? They want the product, but they don't want the process. And so I think it's
they don't want to do the work. Well, now a lot of people are doing the work now.
Results, right? Yeah. So, so I think, but right now, I love being in Detroit because the barriers of entry here are lower than in any other market,
oh,
right?
Gosh,
so
incredible.
Now,
absolutely.
You have a chance to make a name for yourself. Here, a lot easier than it would be in New York and, all the other
there's a couple of people I know who we are for crying out loud. We know the barriers of entry are low.
You guys are blowing up. Everybody trying to get on this show. I was like, when can I get on ITND?
We got three.
You're like, who?
The fact that we have thousands of listeners still absolutely blows my mind.
Gosh, I don't know if you heard the story. Dave just started working at Ford's, and there's like 6 guys his first day. They're like, "Oh yeah, I would listen to the show all the time. I know exactly who you are." And he's like, "Who are you?"
My first
stalkers.
Yeah, well, no, my first day there, and I'm
the
like
silent listeners.
I'm trying to be all low key and just kind of hanging out. I went out to lunch with everybody, and we're sitting there in a Coney, and like over the span of 10 minutes, I had 3 people that walked over. They're like, "Hey, aren't you Dave?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, I'm just trying to have lunch. Hi, yes,
can I get your autograph?" And
no, thank you.
See,
thankfully, it's not that bad.
The whole backstory of this, I don't know if you know. I don't know if I ever told you, Hajj. But basically, us sitting in a bar. You guys really should tape your bar conversations. And it's really this is
essentially us.
Three geeks at the bar. What do you? I'm not really a geek. 2 geeks and a sales guy.
2.5 men.
2.5 men.
No, but that's the opposite. But like really, that's what the
who
hell?
You calling half man?
What do 3 IT guys at the bar talk about? And that's really what this show boiled down to. We're not the best. Review we ever got was, you're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining? I'll take that all day long.
So you were gonna hop back in on something he was chiming in about.
So change my perception on co-working.
Okay.
Because what I see it as today is a bunch of people that, designers, developers, that could be doing anything, and they're all sitting in basically cubes with their headphones on and kind of defeating the purpose. Am I missing something, or is there something more to it? Because I would rather be co-working be more collaboration and networking and sharing, and it doesn't seem that's happening. Am I wrong?
I think every co-working space has its own culture, right? So
exactly.
So there could be some spaces that you go to where everybody is heads down, they're focused, it's silent, there's no conversation. Then you go to other co-working spaces where they might have a younger demographic, more like starters with like college age students, to where the environment and the energy in that space is totally different. But I think so what happens is that in a co-working space you bring people in proximity.
Yep.
And when you bring people in proximity, then just stuff starts to happen, collaboration, ideas, people start to do
they feed
different
on each
things.
other. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's networking while you work, right?
Yeah,
I network after work.
Okay.
.com. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
Middle
So
finger
the
up to
key
that.
is that you have to be in the right space, right? Because I think that's critical. Because if you're in a space where where you don't really like the people, and it's not really your vibe, and it's like, okay.
Well, it's like any other job, whether it's a lot of it comes down to environment, and if the environment isn't a fit for you, it's not going to work out. So, to your point, Bob, there are co-working spaces out there where it truly is I just need a space where I can go get my work done that is outside of my house,
right?
That has a printer, that has a conference room that I can book a meeting into if I need to.
And a lot of times it's a discipline thing, like because as a home worker myself, it's easily to get distracted. Oh, I got to go do the dishes. Like, well, hey, what's on TV? And if you're not exposed to those distractions, and to your point, like every co-working space is different. Every co-working space is different each day. So that one co-working space that is heads down on a typical Tuesday might be happy-go-lucky on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's totally different, depending on who shows up, right?
So, as a home worker, I'm lucky. I have a finished attic on the third floor.
That's your office.
That's my office, out of bounds. No one comes upstairs.
Right.
Right, where other people that might be...
Heaven only knows what's going on up there.
Exactly. But other people...
That's where the pink fuzzy bunny slippers come out.
Other people might be working at... oh my God, by the way, in North Carolina, I taught everyone what Risky Business Fridays was.
Nice.
Oh, no.
So we have everything's on WebEx on Fridays.
Okay.
So I said it's Risky Business Fridays, dress shirt, no pants.
Did that fly over like a lead balloon?
They laughed their ass off.
Awesome.
But what I'm saying is I have my spot. The guy that is working on his dining room table and his wife's screaming at him to take out the garbage.
Well, he's asking for trouble. Exactly.
He's the guy that's getting me the hell out of here.
Right.
Where me, it's more of a safe zone. But again, though, the networking thing, like if people are working, do I want to tap them on the shoulder and go, "What are you doing?" Like for me, I love networking, man. I'll talk to anybody about anything. But when they're working, I think that's sacred to me.
Really? Yeah. Explain the bar stool at the Blackfin motif to me, then we'll talk to anyone about anything.
I will.
Well, people come to him. That's what that's what it is.
Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody.
Exactly. So so what are some of the other events that are going on this week? So you've got the Taco Tequila thing going on tomorrow night. Are there anything?
I want to go to that. You guys want to go?
Yeah,
I got nothing going on. What else is going on this week that might catch somebody's eye? There's the selfie thing Wednesday morning at the DIA.
Mm-hmm. Is that a Guinness thing? Where's that going? The selfie thing.
This is our first crack at it, and we have some future plans with it.
Right on.
Okay, so but we're really, really excited.
And he can tell you, but then he'd have to kill you.
Right. Yeah. It'll make a great Facebook header.
And I love being free, and and I deal with those kind of issues. But yeah, some really interesting stuff. So on Thursday we have 50 founders, and so we have the founder of Hello Innovation. So again, great guy, and so that's going to be a great fireside chat. Let me make sure I turn this off. Fireside chat.
Okay.
Which is going to be really, really cool. We have on Saturday and Sunday, we have a coding class.
So it's going on all week through the weekend then?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So there'll be stuff going on every single day, and just really, really good stuff. I'm doing a personal.
Where's the coding class?
It's going to be at Atomic Object.
Okay.
And
that's right up our... That's GDI, right?
Yes. Yep. That's put on by Girl Develop It. Again, we really believe in diversity, and we talk about diversity. We're talking about being inclusive of women. We're talking about whether companies are early stage or whether they've gotten funding or not, or maybe entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. So again, thinking about people in different business verticals as well too.
Sure.
Because everybody's not creating a mobile app. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Not if you ask the recruiters that come to our event. Yeah. They're dying for mobile app developers.
Yeah, not everyone's a .NET developer. I don't understand.
No, that's very cool. So, it sounds like it is. There's a wide range of options, topics, locations, venues, that kind of stuff. So people can find just about anything and everything they're going to want to be looking for.
If you don't want this, you can go to that. If you can
get with this.
Yeah. I was going to go there.
I didn't know you guys could rap
on the New York Times line.
I'm all about the black sheep. Come on. Engine number 9. Come on, let's go.
You are the black sheep.
Of this group, yeah.
No, so also, too, we want to be able to get people going into different spaces. So tonight, there might have been people who never went into Cliff Bell, or there might be people who have never gone into...
What a great venue.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
into Atomic Object or whatever, or maybe the Great Lakes Coffee. So we have Great Lakes Coffee offering $1 off. I know you guys were talking about Uber earlier. Yep. Right. They're one of our transporters. Right?
I saw that. Yeah. As the news article comes out. Yeah.
We're
excited to have them as an actual partner because again,
but they're still doing great things. I mean, that was our point. They're providing a valuable service.
And one thing that people really don't even understand about them is that also too, it's a very entrepreneurial company. So they have an opportunity to be able to work with entrepreneurs to provide an extra revenue stream for that particular driver or rider. So again, really cool stuff that's coming from it, and so I'm excited about it from that standpoint.
I bet.
No, very cool. So I guess real quick, what about what's going on with Brand Camp? I mean, what are the plans for that this year? How's everything coming along? Are you doing it again this year, or is that kind of on the back burner with everything else?
Isn't that one of the things going on this week?
Well, we're doing a Brand Camp workshop.
Right. Yeah,
okay. On Saturday. But again, our conference is going to be fourth quarter. We're going to be doing a little rebranding to the actual conference experience. So we're looking at, I can't let everything out of the bag, but it's probably going to be a 2-day conference, and we're really, really excited. What we really want to do is that we want to create more serendipitous opportunities for people to be able to do stuff. Like one of the things that happened is that we brought a guy in here from Boston who runs a website called Karma, which is one of the top urban apparel websites.
What is it again? What is it?
It's called Karma Loop.
Okay.
All
right. Yep.
Okay. Yep. And so we had an actual, there was a guy here who has a product line. We were able to help them. We were able to help broker a deal where they're able to get their product on the actual website. And so again, those are the kind of things that we want to be able to make happen.
You're an enabler. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And part of it is that business is done based on relationship. If you think about PayPal, the mafia,
who you know, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Now you got to be able to offer some kind of value, but at the end of the day, if you can pick up a phone call and that's a decision maker, that's your friend, that's your guy, it makes things a lot easier, right?
Well, we have that conversation. I can't tell you how.
Didn't we just have that conversation an hour ago at the bar?
Yeah.
No, there's just a common trust. Well,
it's respect too. I mean,
even
you're not going to refer everyone, but
right. A couple shows ago, we said there was a stat out that said 28% of IT professionals don't announce what they do for a living.
They don't want to admit it
because they don't want their uncles giving them their laptops going, fix this. You're in IT. But we started laughing. I go, it's not a bad idea if for a whole referral network, right? If somebody can do something else and you can fix his whatever, you know what I mean? It's kind of reciprocal, right?
Bartertown.
Right. Barter. .co is
that's
available.
illegal in the state of... No. Uncle Sam said that's illegal. No. But, but there is value if you can build a network, especially if it's people that are willing to pay for your product or services, right? That's critical, too. I'll never forget because I majored in mechanical engineering. And so I had a friend who went to Michigan Tech with me. And so he majored in double E. And so when he would come home and his father was a pastor, his father would tell him, look, I'm proud of my son. He majored in electricity. And so his family didn't quite understand what he was actually majoring in. But,
that happens when my family asks me what I do, I'm just like, computer stuff.
My parents were German immigrants, and I was on a 300 baud modem when I was 13 years old, So I had to talk my father, well, why do you need to go to the internet? What is this thing? You have to plug in the phone and the phone busy all day? So trust me, we were trying to explain to your father what you do for a living.
Then you showed him the first Pamela Lee Anderson gif, and he was totally fine from there.
Yeah, no, that was ASCII porn back then.
Son, what are you doing? Hacking? Packing? Where are you going?
Right. Yeah. All right, well, hey, we're bumping up against a break. We will come back with more Hajj Flemings, and we'll be right back.
This is the IT and the D show.
We'll be right back.
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
This is the IT in the D, only on RawRadioX.com.
Yes,
hang on. And we are back live, the IT and the D show here in the Raw Radio X studios here in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. As always, you are here with Mr. Monday Night Bob, the sales guy.
Is that your new name?
Dave the Geek. I would have called myself that from now on.
You can't give yourself a
Dave the Geek.
T-bone.
Jeff the voice of reason. I'm going to put that on my business cards from now on.
Mr. Monday Night.
And we got Hajj Flemings here.
Your title is going to be as long as our intro.
Exactly. The sales guy, Mr. Monday Night.
Slash.
The Crusher.
Oh my God! Do we have a ton of stuff to talk about?
We have like 4 pages of notes.
What we haven't hit yet is so we've got our event Thursday night.
That we do.
We
should promote that, by the way.
Yeah, minor details.
We'll promote Hodge's event that bumps up against ours.
Right. Yeah. Details.
Yeah.
Promote mine more.
Exactly. Ours has beer.
Yeah, Thursday night we're at it's the Detroit pub. It's even though it's in Clinton Township.
But minor geographical details.
Yeah, whatever. He had 3, he sold 2, now he has 1.
Sounds like the post bar.
Paul owned all 3 of the Detroit pubs. He sold 2 of them, and now he just has the one in Clinton Township.
Oh, math.
Yeah, it's 3, 2, 1. Yeah,
right.
That's how that works. Yeah, 3 minus 2, carry the 1. Schwa. Yeah,
carry on.
There's not an umlaut in there.
How planes fly, how boats float.
Math.
Was there a niner in there?
That's a recurring theme, Hajj. I can't comprehend flight. I have no idea how it works.
Oh, okay. Flight in terms of airplane flight?
The whole
helicopter,
the whole
Bernoulli's principle escapes him.
He has no idea.
Gotcha.
I'm in planes every week, and I'm dumbfounded how that thing stays up.
How does this work?
Well, that was actually perfect.
That was actually neat. So talking about flight, one of the fun stories that was floating around, just talking from a social media perspective, was the whole flap about Flappy Bird.
Good God.
And all the chaos that was going on.
Can I ask a question?
Shoot.
On the blue. So I played Flappy Bird this weekend. I almost said Flappy Bird. No, not that. I played it. And
were you alone?
I found out that clown made $50,000 a day.
Yeah. A day.
So I'm looking at it, I'm playing it, and I see pop-up ads.
Right.
And they were like rolling over your IRA. And like at no point in me playing Flappy Bird did I say, I got this stupid $100,000 laying around. I'm gonna roll it over on the Flappy Bird IRA.
I'm gonna trust this developer.
But you know what the developer is counting on? That you accidentally click it.
But how? $50,000 a day, a day, and then it's not good enough for me. He wants to pull it.
Oh no! Here's some of the conspiracy theories.
So here's where the fun comes in.
Yeah.
So there's a whole backlash,
multiple conspiracy theories,
and conspiracy theories going on where he pulled it before anybody could start really analyzing his traffic numbers and realizing that he had gone through a very extensive, well played game of gaming the system with bots and automated downloads to drive his numbers up to get into the top 10.
And not only that, but automated reviews.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you automate reviews?
Ask Dave.
There's scripts for everything, dude. I mean,
but then they were saying like Nintendo's going to be mad because it's like Super Mario.
That was the other conspiracy theory. Is he pulled it before he got sued because Mario or Nintendo was getting ready to sue his ass.
Isn't every big game that's come out as an app that was successful, like Words with Friends? That's Scrabble. Every game that's come out.
Or if you're Candy Crush, you just go ahead and steal Candy entirely.
But it's Bejeweled.
And then blackmail, try to sue the owner.
That's totally Bejeweled. Absolutely.
It's Bejeweled.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, that's
what's the other one that came out that everyone was playing? It's like that's a complete ripoff of some 80s game.
Yeah, nothing is new.
No, or Malcolm is play. I see like every now and then I'll see a thing from DBA about Oregon Trail, and I'm like, really? You're
playing dysentery?
You're playing? Yeah, I'm like, you're playing a smartphone version of Oregon Trail.
Jeff?
Really?
Who has dysentery?
that was how everybody died in Oregon Trail.
That's how everyone died in Oregon Trail. Did you ever play that?
No, that was one of our bar games we used to play. Make the girl give you the weirdest look ever. So like we would sit there and having this loud conversation, and it ended up like, and if 2 girls would walk by, scream that the doctor says it's okay, it's just dysentery. Then we'd look at the girls' faces and this look of horror. Then she'd tap her friend, and they start going, "Oh my God, do you hear what he said?" So like every time I hear dysentery, it reminds me of sitting in the Lager house with Tad doing the dysentery game.
Tad probably knows about it because of Oregon Trail.
Absolutely,
right? Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is. He has no idea actually what dysentery commentary is.
I have no idea.
But no, I mean that's the one that like, and it was funny because I posted this last week, and there's a lot of people that have been posting it over the course of the past few days now, where the folks behind Candy Crush basically completely and without even a reservation or doubt stole Candy Swipe, a game that was written by somebody basically in memory of his dying and now dead mother, and just ripped it off, and then tried to basically patent troll and sue him into non-existence.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and
who would do that to someone?
I know.
It's crazy.
I mean, but it's ridiculous.
Who'd have thunk it?
But I mean, it's that whole. God, I was involved in one back in the day where someone tried to sue one of the large automotives here that I was working at because they claimed they owned method equal post. Which is every submit form known to mankind.
I was going to say, isn't that like the internet?
Yeah.
Didn't Candy Crush try to trademark candy?
That's what they're doing now, trying to drive this guy out of existence because they tried to file patents.
Wasn't Candy Crush making $300,000 a day or some crap?
So they tried to.
That's the game that's like catnip, isn't it?
Yeah, they tried.
You can't stop playing.
I deleted it.
They tried to,
you cut yourself off, right?
So they tried to file all the patents and trademarks on the game and the gameplay and the game mechanism, and this guy fought him and said, "No, you ripped me off." And so they lost the patent and trademark battle there. And so now they're like trying to end around him and buy the trademark on Candy something.
Yeah,
that somebody
any
else
variation of that name,
right? So that they could try to drive.
Ass.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's
sour candy.
But again, I mean, it gets to we were kind of touching on this right as we were going to break. It is, and like you were saying, yeah, I'd love to share more, but I can't. We've hit that where you can inadvertently, just because you think you're being
Spill
helpful and open, right. and you're having a good conversation with people. They rip you off.
At the end of the day, you want to be able to own your ideas, right? So, you want to own it legally. You want to own the conversation online. You want to be able to own the digital real estate around the idea. So there's all these different things that are happening now in terms of, who owns the IP, so is it the person that came up with the idea, the trademark,
who owns the domain?
Yeah, so now if somebody else gets a similar domain, can I use the fact that I own the trademark to that, and whoever had the most money in the deepest pockets typically wins those kind of battles.
Yeah, who wants to go the whole 9 yards?
Not always.
Not always. We just we'll tell you over the next break.
We have a very juicy story about that.
I'll tweet about it.
But
it's a big secret.
We have a really good habit. Dave's better than mine, but anytime we talk about something or bring an idea up, we have .com. Go snag it.
Yeah, we have GoDaddy like on
no matter where we are.
You know what? I wish I would have came up with GoDaddy because I'm like now recently they just came out with all these new extensions, guru, photographer.
So
we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, .cheeseburger or whatever it is. I mean, come on.
I mean, they're just looking for more ways to make money, right?
Well, of course they are.
I mean, so they can have another 20 names. And
talk about your conspiracy theories. So we were sitting here like, okay, who in their right mind is going to think of Joe on the corner .plumbing? No, you're looking for a .com .net. That's why we laugh about .co's all the time because I mean it's not ingrained into people's mindset.
Like we love Grand Circus,
but where they're going to get their money is from the Quickens and all of Coke and all of those companies where. We got to go register them before somebody else does and tries to squat on them.
Right.
Yeah. Like we love the Grand Circus guys, but .com is like a really bad 80s band.
Yeah.
And they're the .co, and it's like, you're missing so many.
Didn't we go out and look and say thegrandcircus.com is available?
There are just 100 of them that are available that would have worked.
So the people at .co have done a great job of branding what they do because what they've really focused on is the startup community. So again, if you look at 500 startups and all these other things, they're all .co because they've done a really good job.
It's a cool hipster thing.
Yes.
Yep.
So they've done a good job of selling that particular one. So.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, if
what's
Apple,
the Crickets app?
Well, if Apple doesn't go out and register Steve.Jobs as soon as .Jobs is available, somebody's going to squat on that and redirect it to something stupid. I mean, it's going to happen.
That's part of it.
That's the type of thing that you're talking about. All these companies all these companies are going to have to go out and sit on them. Just to sit on them because they're not going to use them.
We're looking at the .clothing, .guru. This is so stupid.
Bike. Really? Who needs .bike?
Right. Schwinn.
You.
Yeah, Harley Davidson.
There'll be somebody who'll go out there, and I guarantee you, because I was just looking at them just to see what the prices were, and so you could pre-register.
Oh,
right?
some of them are ridiculously expensive
Yes.
now.
Oh, yeah, right.
So if you want to pre-register, so if you want to have iBike, right? That I have no idea what it costs, but I guarantee you that one was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Just somebody can say iBike.
Well, and that's
Isn't that like the electronic version of gouging? Sorry, that's like gas stations. Spike the price of gas. A one letter domain. That's going to be 4 digits as opposed to $18 a year.
No, it's real estate, Jeff. That's
what I mean.
No, all they're doing is carving up. It's a trailer park. That's really what the dot photography is. It's a trailer park. They're
Right.
taking up an acre of land, they're carving it up, and then they're charging $400 a month for lot.
Well, and there was a good story
How
that
did
was
that go, Bob?
I don't know. There was a story that was on Slashdot today. Hey, remember when we were going to run out of IP addresses 2 years ago?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, how's that working out, by the way? The internet's still working, by the way.
Yeah, we got Ermagerd IPv6, IPv6, and now it's like, no, we're good.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, you know more about that than
Aaron is still handing out IPv4 IP addresses.
They've been talking about them running out for 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, the Social Security Administration's been saying they're going to run out of numbers for a long time, and they're just fine.
Yeah. Well, you figure that's a variation on 3, 2, 4, so it's 9. That's ridiculous.
Right.
I don't see how that's going to happen.
Right.
But my daughter just got one, so we're good. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. No, so that was part of whatever happened to we're going to run out of IPv4 IPs, and everybody's
Who's behind that though? Because it wasn't the network companies.
Probably Cisco.
What would that do though? Because all you're doing is you're assigning IP address. You're not buying more switches because you're running out of IPs.
You're going to have to
go to 6.
You're going to have to buy new switches because the
that
old
are IPv6 compatible.
Compliant,
Shut up.
Well,
it's all about the almighty dollar.
Well, because that's the thing. IPv6 infrastructure is not compatible with IPv4 infrastructure. It's not.
Right.
Well, what does the whole darknet run on? That whole
that's all V4.
Is it V4?
Yeah, that's all Tor and natting and but that was the whole point. Is part of the article was the reason why we haven't run out of IP addresses yet is because everybody nats.
The IPs in my house are totally different than his
Just talk to
IPs.
Brad. I think Brad buys more IP addresses than anyone I've ever met in my life.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
So I mean, I think at one point he was saying he was running out.
Well, but that was again another part of the story. There was that they were saying that basically, like hosting providers and infrastructure providers and those kind of folks, they tend to buy them in blocks long before they need them.
Absolutely.
And so they have them and they farm them out, and then they've got a recurring
Goes
pool.
back to your whole real estate thing, Bob.
Well, but they've got a recurring pool of clients.
There's only so much waterfront real estate.
Well, true.
Yeah, they've got a pool of clients that fall off. Clients, new clients that come in, so they can reuse. Right, they can reuse those IP addresses. It's not that big of a deal.
Is that kind of like phone numbers, where I keep getting calls on my Chrysler BlackBerry from somebody that used to have that number like 4 numbers ago?
Right. Yeah,
I still remember my beeper number from when I worked at Budweiser. Wow. I want to call. I'm tempted to call it, but I'm afraid.
Hey,
can we call it from the show?
Yeah, why would anybody? Wouldn't we just have to dial in a phone number?
It's 586-409-9593.
That would be fantastic radio.
Yeah, that'd be outstanding.
You were Bob's beeper number 20 years ago.
Whee! Thanks for playing. So I mean,
meanwhile, Hajj is asleep.
But so in this whole startup community that's that's coming around this whole Detroit Week thing. I mean, is that part of the conversation chain? Is there someone that's coming in to talk to these folks about intellectual property law? Because I mean, that's one of the cool groups we've wound up getting involved in our events is the IT section of the Michigan State Bar. So like once a year we have a bunch of IT lawyers that show up at our events, and it's kind of cool.
That bar, not the bar we go to.
Right. Yeah,
it's very meta.
Right, it's the bar within the bar. But it's kind of nice to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, a lawyer about intellectual property law and that kind of stuff over a beer instead of over $400 an hour.
Yes. So we had so on the panel that I was on tonight, we had an actual lawyer who was one of the actual speakers.
Cool.
So in the future, we want to start to do more of that because again, I think we've all run into this issue to where it's like as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to save money. Right. So I mean, and so I found a lawyer. I saved a whole lot of money.
Switching to Geico.
15 minutes later,
and it cost me And it really cost me, right? Because either you're going to pay for it up front or you're going to pay for it on the back end.
Right.
So again, so getting good legal help for a startup, and and we're always trying to find ways to cut corners. There's no marketing budget, there's no legal budget,
right?
You're bootstrapping. But some of the things are critical because if not, you can lose everything by not making those smart decisions up front.
Yep. Mr. Lawyer, I'll build you the greatest mobile app ever. Just tell me what the hell not to do, or protect my ass.
Bartertown. Wait, that's illegal
exactly.
in Michigan.
But talking about pay it up front versus pay it on the back end, there's kind of a cool story that was coming around, which was trying to basically change the way that we pay for college education. I don't know. So there was a really cool story where so let's say you don't want to be one of the people that comes out of college.
Credit card, not check.
So my daughter's 529 is going to be useless?
Why do I try with you people?
Who are you calling you people?
So no, but
thanks for the call, Dave.
So instead of walking out of college with crushing debt that you immediately have a $600 payment due on,
right?
Money
orders.
So
he wants to throw a Slim Jim at you.
So want to stab you with something right now. But so backload it. So you know what? You don't want to take on that.
Did you say backload?
I don't know what that means.
So instead of having that debt sitting there on the back end, go ahead and you know what? You get your college for free. We'll take it as a percentage once you start making money and once you start actually earning an income.
Oh my God, that's worse.
Why is that worse?
That's because you're paying for college for the rest of your life. Then
they said the average expectancy was probably about 20 years at a percentage.
Wouldn't it be better to pay it before and then have it collect interest?
If you have that option available to you. And nobody's saying you have to go down this road, and nobody's saying that you can't go ahead and take traditional loans.
But can't you can defer student loans today, though.
That sounds like a David Leary Shark Tank deal where, in
perpetuity.
Perpetuity, thank you.
But if you think about it, so, if it's going to wind up being 4% of whatever you making, and they had they were talking about it on Fox 2 Let It Rip, actually, as well. If it's just a percentage coming off of your salary, once you start actually making a real living,
never miss it.
Well, yeah. So
it's like a tax,
and it's pre-tax.
It's pre-tax,
right? And it's one of those things where fine. They take it, and then basically they use those funds to essentially fund the next realm of graduates. Because one of the stats that they were talking about was on your average student student debt, the university actually winds up losing quite a bit of money because they
never get the money.
Exactly. So this is another way to guarantee that money actually comes in. And it allows you to, like I said, not walk out of college immediately with a $600 bill staring you in the face, whether or not you have a job.
Who regulates all that then? The government?
It's another federal loan program, yeah, just like student loans today. So I mean, it's
that'll work out well.
But again, it's an option, and and that was part of the back and forth.
That's it's an interesting idea, I guess.
So that was the back and forth that was going on. Was there was somebody sitting there saying, oh well, it's debt for life, and it's debt for life, and well, if you think about it, it's
that guy didn't marry my wife,
right? Well, but I mean, if you think about it, so it's no different to me than so let's say that you and I are going into a business deal together, and you're the one that's going to throw all the cash down at it. Odds are good that when something starts happening, you're going to want to get your cash back out of it, and you're going to want to make sure that you get that covered, right?
Maybe.
Right.
Depends on what the business is.
So it is, sort of the VC model where, we're going to want to make sure that we recoup our investment and all that kind of fun stuff. And I don't, as far as, to me, if you take it to the next level of that, if it does become a federal program and the federal government is only getting their money back once you're making money enough to pay them back.
Yeah, but who defines the money?
Doesn't it? That's all in the bill.
What if you work for Arbor Drugs the rest of your life?
It's all in the legislation.
Let me ask you this question though too, because there's another interesting conversation in terms of should students go to school at all, right?
I have that debate every day.
Especially in IT.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you have people like Peter Thiel who are paying people $100,000, who'll get a group of fellows, pay them $100,000 to not go to school for X number of years and work on their ideas. There was even an article in the Detroit News, I believe, last summer, and it was talking about should a kid be able to drop out of high school and start working on ideas. I don't really subscribe to that.
I don't know that I would buy it with high school, just because at the high school level you're still learning very critical basic social skills.
Oh, absolutely.
Not only that, you're learning the fundamentals of basic programming and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess I'm talking IT again. But
yeah. I saw it today. I learned on Reddit today that Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars, right? He dropped out of 10th grade in high school because he was making $2,000 a week selling fake Gucci purses in Vegas.
That was more lucrative for him, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, in the web dev industry, I know a lot of. I went to Wayne State, have a comp sci degree. I know a lot of people in the web development industry that didn't graduate college are making a lot more money than I am. And that's frustrating.
Because at the end of the day, you can look at it the same way.
Can you go back and ask for a refund?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Damn it, where's that 4% going?
All the poli-sci, English majors, history majors, philosophy majors.
They're all starting these businesses. Anyway.
Because you can look at like athletes, and so you look at like tennis players, right? So they can be 13, 14 years old, and they can become professionals. NBA, if you're in the NBA, you cannot leave right out of high school and go to you have to 1 year. 1 year.
Yep.
And it's like, so what is the purpose of getting an education? Is it just to say that I have good grade, that I have a 4.0, or is it at the end of the day that that I can then now turn whatever I've learned into value on the other end?
Well, I mean, you're a good example of this. You have a mechanical engineering degree. Are you using that?
The greatest part about engineering is that it's a platform to be able to solve problems. But I'm not a mechanical engineer anymore.
Right. So college proves that you can follow instructions. You can take a test. Right. You got the diploma that says, "Hey, I can follow instructions."
Really, college is a factory, right?
Right.
So you come in as raw material.
Well, college is in the business of creating more college graduates.
Yes, and they're very good at that model. It's just that model doesn't work that well for the people going through the system like it used to.
Right, it's not the same thing, and so that's where I was going with that. Is so if you extrapolate it out, so if whoever is funding this, government or whoever is funding this, and they don't get their money back unless you're getting a certain level of income now that you have a degree and you're out there in the workforce, can't you then say, okay, that gives the federal government an incentive to then stop giving companies incentives to outsourcing jobs, to other countries and that kind of stuff, and invest more in the companies and infrastructure here because they don't get their money back if you don't get a job and you're not getting paid?
The problem that I would say with that is that whoever is putting the legislation, when I look at people who are super wealthy, and I plan on being there one day, is that
we don't want to be super wealthy, just wealthy. we have what is it? A $5 million out is what we're going for.
Absolutely,
$5 million out. That's right.
I'd settle for $2.
And then when I look at people who are wealthy, at first I thought it was, man, they're just a lot smarter than I am.
Right.
No, but it's not that at all. I mean, if your friends are putting the legislation in place that allows you to line your business up so that you can make money hand over fist,
so like
legislation.
It's like if your friend was, like a tax assessor in Auburn Hills, and you wanted to put a business in there.
I got sworn in today.
I guess that's inside.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Is that what it was? Was there a candle in the corner?
I had to be at the city council meeting to get sworn in as the board of tax assessors.
Wow! Did the word consecrate come?
I did not hear that word. That sounds gross. By the way,
did you wear a robe?
What did Oh no!
We don't break yet.
My boss said a word on the U.S. call today, and I go, "Is that even a word?" And he goes, "The guy played like the radio show, like dumb sales guy," and he goes, "Yes, Bob, that's a word."
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but so to your point though, I mean, I do I get it. I have the debate. I can't tell you how many times with HR over the years where if you give me the choice between someone who just walked out of school with a degree, with a piece of paper, and somebody who's been in the field that's been doing it for 4 years on their own, I want that person who's been doing it for 4 years
every day,
all day, every day,
yep,
over the person who's learned how to spit back answers and doesn't know anything outside of academia.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it makes a big difference because again, it's this whole conversation, theory versus practice, right? And so again, we can talk in theory.
And that's the kick. How do you change the culture to get, there are class action lawsuits working their way through the system now where you can't say requires college degree on job positions anymore. And if that happens, phenomenal. Because, that truly, I think, starts to level the playing field and gets rid of some of that stupid bias that's out there.
I also have to say that this is kind of industry specific because I wouldn't want to have, a guy practicing medicine for 4 years operating on me. I would rather have him have some sort of medical degree. You know what I mean? Like, there is a case for...
Dave, look what I do for a living. They don't teach sales in college. You don't learn anything to do with sales. You barely learn business management in college.
True.
Yeah.
Because you have people that never practiced it teaching you on book theory. Right?
Yeah. Well, it worked in 1930.
Unless you go to Walsh.
Well, you got your comp sci degree. You know, mine's in biochem, but so yours was comp sci. On what platform? What programs?
I was taught
Punch card.
I was
COBOL.
COBOL.
Exactly.
COBOL and Pascal.
Word perfect.
Right.
But that's industry specific to IT. Like, getting back to my whole analogy of the medical industry. That transcends time. Like, there's advancements in treatments, but cutting somebody open, I'm not going to have somebody that's didn't go to school and not
surgeon, maybe GP, meh. Somebody that's an ear, nose, and throat guy, meh. Yeah,
I guess it's a fine line. I don't know.
Frontline, every time they pull out their tablets, I just assume they're looking at WebMD anyway.
They're Googling your symptoms as you're sitting on the operating table.
Isn't that what Microsoft engineers do?
It's like the scene from Spies Like Us.
Right.
MCSE must call someone else.
We shall now clean the patient.
Right, the Microsoft Certified Solitaire.
I'm paying you by the hour to sit on tech support with the guy that knows how to fix it. Why don't I just call him?
There was a really interesting article, and I can't remember if I read it in Wired magazine or one of these magazines, where it was talking about this whole industry of manufactured degrees, to where now people could literally buy a degree, but it was nothing more than a sheet of paper. And I'm not sure how people are going.
I'm not sure that I believe that any college is different than that.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is interesting. I don't think education is going away. Prices are going up.
Yeah, they're through the roof. It's ridiculous.
Open source education. Once you get that accredited, that's the next big wave.
Education. Yes,
that's what I don't understand.
There's one in California that's outstanding,
but it's not accredited.
No, it is. It is accredited, and you can get your bachelor's for $8,000.
Wow.
and it's a whole
whole accreditation thing.
The whole
accreditation thing drives me nuts. Like,
that's the big giant scam.
Yeah, that's a scam.
Because is Harvard's business school is that accredited for some reason? I'm not sure if it is.
Really, I assume it is.
Yeah, that's a big assumption, right?
But at the end of the day, it really wouldn't even matter.
For $60,000 a year, you better be.
At the end of the day, it's Harvard business. You have an MBA from Harvard. Yeah,
it's Harvard. So so it might be. But at the end of the day, just the fact that I graduated from Harvard is
you might have the cheapest Lamborghini that they make. You still have a Lamborghini, right?
So you may have graduated with a 2.0 average, but you're still a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you call one of the most valuable things about education is the net? Is the network that probably comes along with that prestigious institution. Because again, a lot of what you learn, I use probably less than 5% of what I learned in mechanical engineering when I was working in automotive industry. I use almost nothing.
Probably, and that's probably being generous.
Related to get back to Harvard, I mean, that's probably why frats are so important. That's networking, right?
You're
getting into that generational type of thing.
I mean,
opening doors that wouldn't have otherwise been open
are critically important. Yeah. If you know people that can make a call, warm introductions, or someone who can,
getting past the system.
Yes.
So we're up on a break. This is the IT and the D Show.
We'll be right back.
So it's sort of social, demented and sad, but social, right?
You got the touch. You got the power.
This is the IT in the D, only on rawradiox.com.
The cry, Johnny.
Thank you for the greatest movie song ever, Joe Esposito. Where are you now?
Yeah.
This is the IT and the D Show. This is segment 4.
Where's the behind the music on that guy?
Dirty 30. We are here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Detroit, Midtown Detroit, Michigan.
Balmy.
We've been hanging out all afternoon, the evening,
night, whatever.
With Hajj Flemings talking about Detroit Week, talking about Brand Camp.
One last time before we since we are opening our last segment here, we do have our event Thursday night out at the Detroit Pub in Clinton Township.
I'm trying to be there.
It's at 14 and Harper. Starts at 5 o'clock.
No, yeah, I'm in St. Louis. I'm trying to catch a flight.
We knew this.
I told you like a month ago.
We gave him crap then.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then on
I've been on the road since 7:30 this morning.
This is another event.
I'm like on fumes.
We
right
got on 313, which is we're having a pink slip party over at St. Andrews.
Okay.
Last one we had about 850 people show up, 150 people hiring.
So those are our big, crazy...
Yeah, twice a year we do
we
this.
fill St. Andrews Hall with geeks. It's pretty awesome.
Wow.
And recruiters.
I did talk to
Unheard of.
Jeff.
Yeah.
I did talk to the 501st today about having 2 stormtroopers as guards.
Fantastic.
I don't know if they will or not, but they asked for a slight. It was like church. It was like, yeah, you can come.
Did they ask for a price tag?
Yeah, no,
They want a donation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we'll do it, but which is fine.
Hey, you know what? I'm not.
He said, hey, do you want good guys back? No, 2 stormtroopers.
Yeah. Not sand troopers.
No.
Not biker scouts. Stormtroopers.
Not Spaceballs.
I would want space.
I'm surrounded by
Hajj, you
assholes.
ever see Cryo?
I can't say that I have.
Cryo's like that big 10-foot guy with all the LEDs and the smoke guns
He's
and all
got
that.
the old English G on his chest.
Oh, okay. Got
He
it.
looks
lasers
like,
coming out of his eyes.
Optimus Prime. We had him at the last event.
It blew everybody's mind.
Yeah, it was like
And then-
it was like photo op
He's got
city.
dry ice coming out of his arms.
And then all the companies that were there went and hired him for their Christmas party, so we're not using him again.
You guys,
yeah, been there, done that. We kind of blaze that trail.
Yeah, now he's old news.
you guys think outside the box. Period.
Yeah.
We try, here's the thing.
We're the ungroup that does the unjob fairs.
We hated
with an
job. No,
unradio.
the reason why we do the pink slip parties, Hajj, is because job fairs in this town suck. You got all these tables, and you got people in 150 deep handing out resumes. The people talking to them ain't going to remember them in 10 minutes. So we said, hey,
and 8 times out of 10 don't care. They're there to collect resumes and,
Right.
and hand them a card that says "Go apply online."
so what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of having a job fair if you're going to do it online?
So
anyway?
you guys are disrupting job fairs.
We gave him
Pretty much.
We gave him
We're the anti-job fair.
we gave him the middle finger, and the thing is, it's successful.
You show up with a stack of resumes, we're going to throw them away. Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it
We just
defeats
want-
the
yeah.
purpose. You don't want
It
to
defeats the purpose.
You don't want to carry around a stack of your resumes all night. The recruiters don't want to carry
recruiters
around
aren't
a
gonna
stack
carry
of
around.
everyone's all night. So why bother?
So the feedback we got from the recruiters is we've shortened the cycle up. If you put the job online, you're going to get 500-600 resumes. You have to get it down to 10,
And it'll take
15
you weeks.
weeks and weeks, and then you get down to the 3. They'll meet 3 qualified people at our event and
Have a hire within 2
interview
days.
2, hire 1
Yeah.
in a week. So whatever they're looking for, typically we have the talent there to fill it. Okay. It's been a little tough lately because the talent is all working.
Yeah, the market's flipped on its head.
Well, so that's the cool thing from our
The
perspective.
gears are actually moving.
Right. I mean, so the market is 180 degrees. Like, we did our first one of these back in May of 2009 because literally every job seeker that would show up at our events would look, I can't get FaceTime with a recruiter to save my life. I can't get a return phone call. I email my resume. It goes into a black hole. I get nothing back. Help me get FaceTime with recruiters.
Monster.com black hole.
Right. So we tried this, and it worked. Well, now, actually starting about the end of 2012, now it's the recruiters that are coming to us and saying, okay, look, we need good people. We need quality. We're dying for talent. Hook us up. And so, I mean, that's where the market is now, and that's what our events have become, and it's kind of cool to see happen.
Yeah.
That's a great position to be in, though. A definitely great position to be in.
Well, it's a great position for them to be in because they don't have to pay us for that.
Yeah, so if you know any mobile devs or .NET developers,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we
Okay.
actually
that's a purple unicorn right
yeah,
there.
we did the math
Well,
once.
for the low price up now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the caveat.
we did the math once where we're up over 650 odd people that have found jobs through
That
our
we
events
know
now.
of.
that we know of. Yeah, that tell us actually.
And you figure your average referral fee with a recruiting company
It's
is
like
anywhere from
$2,500.
$1,500 to $2,500. Yeah, we're
idiots.
We're idiots because we've given away like $1 million worth of service.
what was that buying
All
a
that
boat?
good
What was it
karma.
about buying a boat earlier?
All that good karma.
Well, why don't you guys do this? Since you guys don't want the money, why don't you guys just give the referral fees to me?
There you go.
And you guys
That's
can
really
feel
doing it
good-
wrong.
And you guys can feel good about not making anything on that part of it.
Right, you can be our talent agent and just spread our goodwill on CNN.
Tomorrow the press release out my newest business venture.
And I'll say great things about these are some great guys.
Yeah,
I love it when our guests make fun of us.
yeah, exactly. They're great guys. They bought me this boat. They bought me.
I have a Ferrari that cost $12,000 to get. I mean, just the driver's training for a Ferrari. From what I hear, $12,000.
I have to learn how to drive a stick. I don't understand.
So you were talking on the break. You got another business venture going on.
Yes.
What in the world is going on now?
How do you find the time?
Between all the spare time that I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I do all stuff during the day. I have all this extra spare time.
Your
So
wife must really love you.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. So I'm working on a company called Established, and so me and Delaney Parnell are working on an idea together, and so this is kind of how Detroit Week was really birthed, because again, we want to be part of trying to interconnect the entrepreneurial community, not only in Detroit but in Lansing, in Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids, and be part of the glue and create experiences that will allow people to be able to come together, to be able to get businesses launched, to be able to do some really, really cool stuff. And so the first project that we did was just Detroit Week, just to see what would happen. Again, just going back to my other point of, if it doesn't matter who gets the credit, and when you can shine the light on people doing really cool stuff and give a voice to the faceless, right? Those kind of things. So we're going to start to do some really cool and some really interesting things this year.
How did you get hooked up with Delane? I know him. He's another guy that doesn't sleep. I don't know where he finds the time.
No, he's a very passionate guy, and the way it works out, I'm the old guy, he's the young guy,
right?
And so we kind of balance each other out.
What is he, like 17 years old?
He's 21 now. He's 20. Yeah. He's real.
Isn't
old
that
now.
heartbreaking that we're the old guys now?
Right.
It breaks my heart.
You actually met him. It was at the Word Camp.
Okay.
A couple years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a guy, he talks a mile a minute. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a marketing genius.
I mean, he is extremely driven.
Right.
One of the things that I've always found in business that one of the toughest things to do is to find somebody who has the same level of passion that you have for something.
Right.
That is, I mean, it's...
The youth energy, too.
Yes, and that definitely helps, because
but there's
time I have to go to bed, right?
Right. Now, there's something to be said for youth energy and for aged wisdom, right?
Right.
When we do our thing, we always talk about, hey, we're not experts. This is all from 15 years of trial, error,
screwing
and feedback.
up.
We've been around the block so many times and we've worn out the carpet.
So, I mean, that's, again, we're not professing we know anything. This is all learned.
It's not that we know what to do, it's that we know what not to do.
Yeah,
because we've already done it. And it didn't work.
We've paid attention on what's broke and what works. And,
when I was at Ford Motor Company, one of the things that I saw, because this is when they were doing what is that called? When they were, when people were they could leave.
The early buyouts and all that stuff?
Yes. And so then you saw this brain drain. So now you saw people who were there for 20, 30 years, they were gone. You're bringing in contract workers who
have no clue.
And then there was no transition.
Yeah, you've lost all the tribal knowledge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm talking about hundreds of years of knowledge literally walked out the door, and you have someone, and there weren't certain processes were not documented to the point where they could just pick it up. And so again, there really is that. I mean, if we could find a way, not only in the automotive industry, but in other industries, to where you could leverage the institutional knowledge that we have, which is youth and its energy. I mean, there are some creative ways that we can solve problems.
Everyone needs to be a Sith. Always there are two, a master and an apprentice.
That's right. You must pass on what you have learned.
I could use a Padawan.
Well, and it's one of those things that we've and we have. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, there are folks that reach out about, I need a mentor. What do I do? How do I get involved? How do I help me? How do I do it? And it is. I mean, it's something that it's a hell of a time commitment. But I mean, for the right person, it makes sense. It's kind of like, I had the blog entry that I threw out about, chatting with, Joe and Taylor, by all means, for the right people that have the right drive, we'll invest all the time in the world, because it's worth it. If you're going to be, a slack ass that's going to, basically sit there and waste my time.
And that's the one thing.
Yeah, you're not going to provide any value at all. Right.
There's a lot of people that come to us saying, hey, we want to get in the IT industry. And if you got that look in your eye, I've seen the look. We've all grown up with the look. Mm-hmm. If you got that look, and if I know I throw you out in front of somebody, you're not going to embarrass me, I'll vouch for you all day long.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, when you think about a mentor, a mentor is accelerated wisdom, right? So it allows somebody to be able to get to another point a lot faster. But as a mentee, you have to be willing to accept the information, because if I'm mentoring somebody and I'm telling you this is what you need to do, and you're not willing to follow
don't tell me
advice,
no. Right?
then I'm gonna go do. You have to be willing to take the information. Now, if they're selling you, what I'm saying, swampland in the middle of Michigan or something,
Yeah.
Well, number one, you've picked the wrong mentor.
Yeah, you're not understanding how this relationship works.
I tell you what to do, and you do it. But I have to say, this is the first time that I've ever had this particular triple mix.
He's hooked the popcorn.
Better Made. This is very good.
It's the better.
Garrett says nothing on Better Made.
That's the best thing.
The Better Made special triple mix caramel butter
And
cheese
the
popcorn.
only place we can find this is the little bulletproof glass liquor store that's right across from 3rd Street, which is where we gather. Before
I actually
we
cleaned
come
them
over
out.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these were their last 2 bags.
It's
when
the
I was
only
over
place we
there
can find.
buying them
It's like it doesn't exist outside of that store.
Right.
Better Made, are you listening right now? Are you listening?
And they're not sponsors, by the way.
Actually, no, I tried to buy online, and it was for a case was $16, but shipping was like $20. I was like, come on, Better
Like,
Made.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk about doing it wrong.
Ship it to the distribution center. I'll go pick it up there.
Amazon Prime, man. What do you get on the ball?
I'm gonna get a drone and just bring it over.
Exactly.
Hook into a drone to be
Get a
done
bag
with
of popcorn dropped on your head.
So one of the just talking about random stuff. So Crystal Pepsi is apparently making a comeback.
Oh,
just
is
talking
that-
about
is
stuff
that
you
like
can't
Eat
find anymore.
my shorts.
Is that like the hipsters driving up the cost of PBR?
It truly is.
That stuff tasted like poo.
It was terrible.
That was one of the worst. You remember that?
Clear Pepsi?
Yeah.
That was I think Cola and Crystal Pepsi are the 2 worst things that came out of when I was a youth.
Isn't that what's called a Sprite?
Because
but
it
it was
tasted a lot
supposed to-
worse than Sprite. That was
Right.
the worst part about the entire thing.
Crystal Mist.
Well, no, didn't the big thing with Coke buying Green Mountain or something? They want to take over the SodaStream market.
Did they really?
Coke, yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a big thing last
Coke
week.
bought SodaStream?
No, they bought Green Mountain, the coffee.
Right.
Okay.
So they said they want to put a pop machine in every home. It's like, well, SodaStream already did that.
Yeah, they kind of covered that market. They're kind of done. Been there, done that.
Right. And Europe already's been doing that for 20 years.
Right, exactly.
So we have one. We don't use it all the time.
The
But
SodaStream?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my nephew has one. He's a big fan.
It's good.
Yeah, he likes it. But actually, doubling back to one of the earlier topics we were yakking about, the Flappy Bird and the automated traffic. One of the cool articles we were bouncing around was how basically human-generated traffic accounts for less than 40% of all traffic on the internet.
Yeah, that was
at
like
any given time.
it was
ever.
ridiculous.
Can we just shift all of our energy into building a stupid app to bounce on stuff and people go? I don't need to. The app could be open for 6 weeks and I'm out.
At $50,000 a day.
$50,000 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
This was really, really interesting. It was Newt Gingrich when he was running to be president. He had they did research on his Twitter account, and 92% of the followers were fake followers. So I have a question for you guys.
92%?
Yeah,
92%.
I remember that stat coming out.
92% in 2011. So now, what would be your impression or your thought of someone if they had that many? I mean, because again, you can game any system, right? So,
well, we were just dealing with this with our Facebook IT and the D Facebook account.
We just got bombed on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
but if he did it, yeah, middle finger. If he had nothing to do with it.
That's just it. We got
if it was on social,
we got bombed.
We got
it's not our fault.
We got bombed. We went from 200 to 8,000 in one day.
They knew I was coming on the show. That's all it was.
That's what it was.
Before we even announced you. But no, I mean, it's, and we had talked about that. I mean, there are, you can buy anything. You can buy Twitter followers.
That blew my mind. I had no idea that world.
Yeah.
I had no idea that world existed.
Yeah, it was actually kind of new to me too.
My mind.
And you can. There's a market.
Who has the time for this crap?
I don't even to think of it. I really want to buy an extra 1,000 likes.
I have influence. I have 90,000 people that are not real that are following.
Okay, so that statement. I want to buy a bunch of likes. What is that value? What's the value of that?
People do that.
That's the question. How many people dig, or how many people go? Oh, well, if 90,000 people like / follow / whatever. All right, I'll do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we live in a society to where, you can be famous for being famous. You don't really have to, don't necessarily have to have real, Paris.
Yeah, the Kardashians, yeah.
Guy Fieri is famous for eating food, for crying out loud.
He stole your life?
He did. Stole my haircut in 2002.
Anyway. So it's interesting nowadays to where everything is manufactured. You can go get body parts blown up and all, and you'll become famous. Where 30, 50, 40 years ago, I mean, you really had to have a real competency and a skill. You can have a show for nothing.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's, it's become such a bizarre
clowns like us have a radio show. This wouldn't happen 30 years ago.
So the fine line is like, where does the cynicism set in, and why doesn't that cynicism set in to somebody like the Kardashians or Paris Hilton? Is it because they're hot?
If Kim wasn't in the family, there wouldn't be a show. I don't.
Second.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
no, let the Wookiee win. What's her name?
the Wookiee.
But like, you know, like you said, everything's manufactured. Does that mean, you know, it's almost like you're implying that like at some point everything's fake to a point?
Well,
right?
I mean,
like
you have so many
point does
reality
the
shows
cynicism
now
come in?
that are not reality.
That are not
that are scripted.
Exactly.
I mean, they're totally scripted.
Right.
But it's like, but people watch it, so it's so now you're going to get more of that because it's popular, right? So again, just like
it
the
feeds
Us
on itself.
magazines, yeah. So it's
if once people stop, it stops.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the problem with, like, you know, rankings and ratings and all that kind of stuff in general is, you know, like I can't tell you the last time I watched anything live at all ever. You know, I'll catch it on the TiVo 3 days, 4 days, a week and a half, 2. You know, I've got.
I have stuff on my TiVo from like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
I
I've got
haven't
an
watched.
entire season worth of stuff sitting there that I'll catch up on eventually.
Right.
But you know, to everybody else's, you know, to the Nielsen's and whoever else is paying attention, that's a show that's not being watched. You know, and to some degree, I guess we do it ourselves because that's where I was going. It's such a circular frenzy of, like, TMZ wouldn't exist if there wasn't a demand for it.
Yes,
but to some degree,
it's People Magazine on TV.
But to some degree, TMZ creates that demand.
Weekly World News.
Yeah, I mean, people were so interested in the lifestyle of celebrities and athletes and entertainers to where it's like,
oh, who was that? The lifestyles of the rich and famous. Oh, Robin Leach.
Robin Leach.
Come on, Yo MTV Cribs.
Yeah, but look at people's houses and stuff.
Right.
I mean, so people can aspire for something. You know, I heard someone talk about the American dream. It's the American dream because basically just because you can't get it, right?
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
you know what the American dream is? To do what you want and not have anybody yell at you. I mean, that's
true. I don't believe
that's the realistic American dream.
I don't ask for much. Just don't yell at me. Don't bother me.
Get off my lawn.
Don't nothing. Just let me. Let me buy stuff on Amazon whenever I want.
Okay, but Ivory Tower syndrome. How many people? You know, what percentage of the population out there would look at you and say you are living the American dream? Dude.
No,
you've got a killer job. You've got a great wife. You've got a great.
I know where I
your
sit.
Kids are
I know
awesome.
where I sit.
It's all relative, is what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm that evil hoarding.
Exactly.
Son of a butcher
Republican.
immigrant. No, I'm not a Republican. You suck.
Tea Party.
No.
All right, so let's make sure we're coming up against the end of the show. I want to make sure we hit everything. So our event Thursday night,
20th.
Yep, Detroit Pub, Clinton Township, 14 and Harper. Followed up by our event on 313 down at St. Andrews Hall.
That's the must go to.
Yep.
Yeah, you must be there because we will maybe have.
We're gonna have either Bucharest Grill or we're gonna have Polonia Polish food.
We might have to fight that one out.
I think you're going to be outvoted. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, the Bucharest was a pain in the ass. It didn't bring spoons.
You know what?
We know that now.
We know. Yeah, exactly.
Lesson learned.
Tell you what, I'll bring a spoon. Don't give me. Do not give me the hand. That's bad radio.
And Hajj, you've got a whole bunch of events going on this week. Specifically, you've got Detroit's largest selfie taking place on the steps of the DIA. That's Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock. You want people there by 9:30, if I recall correctly.
Absolutely.
Okay. And there's a Facebook page. We've got the links and all that stuff all ready to go in the show recap that'll go out live probably later tonight.
Okay.
So anything and everything going on with that and all the other Open City events, we've got all queued up and ready to go in there. Thank you for coming on. This was really, really cool.
This was awesome.
I had a great time. Hopefully, I can make it back. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you're always welcome.
Hey, we're 40 under 4 in the frat. We're frat boys now with the 40 under 40.
Okay. Hey,
Al Brooks.
We go way back.
Well, I think he's still eligible next year, though. You're not.
Oh, you still got it.
I'm 42. I'm done.
Hey,
I'm a mentor.
Didn't you say you were the Godfather? Like you were one of the first.
I was the first one to win.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I stand on the shoulders of giants. And all
no, so I was the second tier of the third tier is like the bums.
Well, is that what the also rans or behind
don't
you?
Let anybody in now.
Yeah.
Well, the day
would be 50 under 50 now.
when they had the trophy ceremony or whatever, the award ceremony, that was the day before my birthday. So like my 39 or my 40th birthday. So like literally I snuck in the day before my 40th birthday.
Wow.
and never mind. I'm not gonna,
So, all right. Everybody out there, thanks for listening. Stay safe. Snow, I'm assuming, is still coming down. We'll see what the roads are like when we get out of here.
Propane heaters. This is the IT and the D show.
Buy the milk, buy the bread.
Right. See ya.
Gotta get the bread milk. Gotta get the bread milk. Gotta get the bread milk. Doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Or wait, what do you have in Switzerland? Some kind of pikemen?
I don't know. I am from Germany, where the age of consent is 14.
What is it, the Alabama of Europe?
In many ways, yes.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.